Hey everybody. So today we're going to talk about the dark side of driving Uber and what it's like for a lot of drivers. Now, it's not everybody who runs into these circumstances, but it's a lot of drivers. And it's one of those things where, let's be honest, most drivers don't drive full time. Most drivers are part time. And but still, we're going to look at the brutal truth of what it's like to actually drive for Uber or Lyft or any of these gig apps. And don't get me wrong, driving Uber, driving Lyft, it does have its upsides. There's a lot of perks to it. Okay, you can pretty much work your own schedule, but at the same time, remember you're working for less money. Okay, I think a lot of drivers run into the problem where they're pretty much minimum wage drivers or maybe a little bit below. And I think most passengers don't realize everything that goes in to driving Uber and Lyft. So we're going to take a look at this today. And hopefully, a lot of people see this video and understand exactly what drivers face. And hopefully, some drivers look at this and reevaluate how they drive. Okay. Are they driving full time? Are they driving part time? Are they just weekends? Whatever it may be, I hope that this video helps some people. So let's jump into it. All right. So, first, let's talk about Uber's own data. Okay. Uber came out and basically said that there's a sweet spots for drivers. Okay. For drivers who work between 35 and 49 hours a week, notice how they cut that 49 1 hour below 50 hours. I guess they just didn't want the optics of saying 50 hours a week. But anyway, in 2026, they looked at 500,000 drivers, and the median hourly rate came out to be a little bit above $21 an hour, 21.18, meaning that on a 40-hour work week, that driver was grossing right around $850, $44,000 a year roughly. And that is before expenses. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about today is expenses. And a lot of people don't know, and I'm saying passengers don't know, that drivers are paying their own expenses. They're paying for their fuel. I've had so many passengers ask me what Uber reimbursed me for fuel, and it's comical. They don't reimburse us anything for fuel, okay? Plain and simple. We do not get reimbursed for gas. We don't get reimbursed for maintenance. We don't get reimbursed for tires, none of that stuff. Now, if you are renting a car, okay, if you are renting a car through one of a couple different programs, then those costs are covered. But keep in mind, those drivers are paying usually $300 to $500 a week, not a month, a week for those cars. So, like I said, the first thing we're going to talk about is expenses. Number one, every driver out there should be tracking every single expense. Track your car payment, track your insurance payment, track your mileage, track how much you pay for gas, track all your cleaning if you're going out and getting your car washed, or if you're just buying materials to wash your car. Keep all those records. They're extremely important at the end of the year. We get to write a lot of stuff off, and I'm not going to go into what because I'm not an accountant, but you can always take it to your accountant or whatever piece of software you use, TurboTax, something like that, and take care of all that stuff. And it's not that difficult, and it's definitely worth doing. So track those expenses. It pays off at the end of the year when you do your taxes, plain and simple. All right, so now we're going to talk about Lyft. Lyft drivers make, on average, less. For Lyft drivers, it's right around $14.87 an hour. And I think a lot of these numbers are probably very heavily dependent on market where you're driving, whether you're driving in New York, California, wherever it may be. The numbers are always going to be a little bit better, probably right around the edges of cities and the suburbs. I feel like sometimes city drivers, and in the past, when I've driven inside of cities, I felt like my hourly rate went down simply because it takes you so long to get from point A to point B inside of a city. Traffic is generally slower. And at the end of the day, that costs you. So my advice to any Uber driver out there or Lyft driver out there is, unless you enjoy driving in the city, I tend to avoid them, and I feel like I do a little better a little bit better when I avoid the inner city and drive the outskirts of a city, whether it be Washington, D.C., whether it be Baltimore, whatever it is. I feel like I've always done better. Um, One thing to take into account with both of these numbers is when Uber and Lyft give us these figures, they're always basing it on, I guess you would call it, engaged hours or engaged time. And that's time that you actually physically have a passenger in the car. Uh, and this plays into what I've said in the past was this whole upfront pricing and the demand for a lot of drivers. I think drivers got caught up in the moment and demanded, a certain number or a certain amount of money per hour to work. And at the end of the day, that I think hurt us. It hurt us. It hurt us in several ways. Number one, we are not hourly workers, no matter what way you cut it. We should be worried about what we're paying per mile, what we're getting paid per mile. Okay. That's the big number that we need to look at. The other two numbers, which is a base fare, the initial payment for the ride, which is oftentimes low, sometimes $1.50. You know, that number is also important. And then time. Okay. We need to be getting a certain number of cents per minute, whether it's 15 cents, 20 cents, 24 cents, whatever it may be. And that helps balance things out when you are stuck in traffic. Okay. That time is a big deal. It catches up and it helps balance things out for drivers. We need to go back to that. And that system was a rate card. The whole upfront pricing thing, I think it really hurt us in the long run. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? Do you think upfront pricing and the big push for a minimum hourly rate hurt drivers? I think it did. And the reason that it did is when you look at the way they look at the time that we get paid for, Uber and Lyft look at engaged time, okay, which is time that you have a passenger in the car, and app on time. Those are two different things, totally different things. And I think it's important that we understand and realize that they're only looking at, when they say you make X amount of dollars per hour, okay, let's say Uber comes out and says, you make, our drivers average $30 an hour. We'll just pick 30 as a figure. I haven't seen it anywhere. I'm just trying to explain this. So let's say they say $30 an hour. In general, a lot of drivers don't even get anywhere close to $30 an hour. But here's how they're calculating that. They're saying you may do a ride that takes 10 minutes and it may pay X amount of money. They're saying that if that ride would have lasted for 60 minutes, you would have made $30 an hour. So that's how they're getting around it. Now, what they're not telling everybody is they're not saying, hey, most drivers only do one or two rides. So a ride that would have paid an average of $30 an hour, let's say for a whole hour, you may only have a passenger in a car for that hour for maybe 20 or 30 minutes. The rest of the time is just sitting around twiddling our thumbs wondering, hey, when's the next ride going to come through? So that does us no good. It almost makes me wonder if gig app workers should be kind of treated like restaurant workers, like, waiters and waitresses, where we do get a basic minimum wage. Not a lot, doesn't have to be a lot to offset these numbers. But let's say they just paid us $5 an hour, okay? And now you're averaging, you get $5 an hour plus you get the money from your 2 or 3 rides that you do in that hour. Now, yeah, guess what? Now you actually are seeing $30, $35 an hour. That's real money that's going into your account. I think that would be a really good solution. But currently, that solution is nowhere in the pipeline. I haven't seen anybody talk about it. I haven't seen Uber or Lyft bring it up. Who knows? Maybe it's something for the future. What do you think? Let me know. Drop a comment. Do you think that would be a good solution for drivers to basically bring our pay up to a real world number? Okay, so now we're going to talk about the independent and academic research, and it paints a much starker picture than I've previously mentioned. And you're going to want to hear this. This is actually very important. All right, so one national gig worker survey found that there was an underpayment. The median underpayment was $2.17 per hour based on what workers were supposed to be being paid off of a 30-hour work week. And that comes out of the Economic Policy Institute. So I kind of trust that. I don't know about you, but I kind of trust what they're saying. Qualitative Reporting has a document saying that drivers working up to 80 hours a week are still only earning, okay, after everything is said and done, expenses and wait time, they're only earning $9 to $12 an hour, okay? And this actually falls in line with the Department of Labor and Economics Policy Institute findings. And that's kind of scary. And you're probably wondering, why is this important? Okay, this is important for several different reasons. Number one, drivers are, for the most part, making huge investments to drive Uber, Lyft, to do DoorDash, Instacart, whatever it may be. Any of these gig app companies, the workers are making big investments. They're either using their own vehicles that are very expensive, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, sometimes more, or they're renting vehicles for $300, $500 a week, plus then paying for all their fuel. Okay, everybody's paying for all their fuel. Doesn't matter if you rent or own. So drivers overall and workers overall in the gig economy are making huge investments. And I don't always think that these drivers and these workers understand how things are working. Now, don't get me wrong. As many of you know, I'm a firm believer if you're driving Uber or Lyft full time and you're out there at least 5 days a week driving for 8 to 12 hours a day, I look at my vehicle as a tool, okay? So I don't so much care about one expense, and that is the depreciation of my vehicle, because my vehicle is going to earn a lot of money over a 3, 5, 6, 7 year period, okay? And 6, 7 years is really stretching it to do Uber and Lyft with a car, okay? But either way, the vehicle is going to generate income during that time that offsets the expense of depreciation. And you're getting now it's up to 76 cents a mile. You're getting your standard miles deduction and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, when you have companies like Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and all these other companies, the gig app companies coming out and saying our workers average $25, $35 an hour, all these, really high numbers, it gives passengers the impression that Uber drivers and Lyft drivers are just rolling in money, okay? We're rolling in money, which I think does reduce tips. And it, in some cases, creates resentment from the passengers to the drivers because they think, oh my gosh, this driver's making so much money and I'm working wherever making $15 an hour. I think everybody needs to realize that, drivers are putting a lot of money out of pocket to do this, okay? They're taking huge financial risks, health risks. Sitting in a car for 8 hours a day is not healthy. I mean, they tell you, people worry about people taking 6 and 8 hour flights and needing to get up and walk up and down the aisles. Uber drivers need to stop their car every once in a while and get out and go for a brisk walk, because it is not healthy to sit in these vehicles for 8, 10, 12 hours a day. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for your cardiovascular system, your pulmonary system. It's a real risk. And I think a lot of drivers, they don't even, consider it, and they should. But at the end of the day, nobody is looking at all this except for drivers. Passengers never really see this dark side of driving Uber. And I think a lot of drivers tend to overlook it too. They look at it as being quick and easy money. And at the end of the day, if you're only doing this part-time, 10, 12, 15 hours a week, it might not be as easy money as you think it is. I pick up a lot of passengers who say, yeah, I used to drive Uber, I used to drive Lyft, I only did it on the weekends. I don't do it anymore because I got hit with taxes, my car broke down, they were in an accident, whatever it may be. So I think everybody needs to be aware of these things. Hopefully this video drew attention to it. And I hope it educates some, Uber passengers and people who use Lyft. And I hope it, if you're a driver and you haven't looked at these things, I hope it opened your eyes too. All right, that kind of wraps it up. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Drop a comment. If you're a driver, I hope you go out there and make a lot of money. And if you're a passenger, I hope you understand the driver's point of view a little bit better now. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching.